today's speakers may open new perspectives and the present-day facts, considering the triangle of economic relations between these three countries and the free trade agreement in place. Although we are aware of the fact that we are facing a specific life moment due to the difficult health situation, we cannot stop, I think you can agree, but actively work on finding new models and, of economic cooperation. Italy and Russia, as well as Serbia and Russia, are linked by a historical friendship based on stable relations, significant economic and energy agreements, and then also political relations. Actually, because of that, the economic situation and opportunities for Italian companies in Russian and Euro market will be presented by various speaker perspective with the focus on the sectors with the highest potential growth. That will be a brief illustration of trends of particular importance in the Russian market and market trends, sector with the high growth and entry opportunities for Italian products, focus on commercial agreements, how to deal with the market access. I would also like to thank our colleagues and partner associations with whom we successfully cooperate on numerous initiatives. Now I'm going to give the floor to the president of Confindustria Serbia, Patrizio Deitos, and then on to the following business associations representatives. Ernesto Ferlenghi, President Confindustria Russia, and Mihailo Vesevic, Director, Chamber of Commerce, Serbia. Thank you.
Thank you, Irena. Good for me. You read me? Everyone read me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we hear.
For me, it's really honor to open this webinar. I'm convinced that I should do others soon. We must not be afraid to seek a solution outside our border. We are courageous entrepreneurs. We have a great design, production capability, great product. We must seize this opportunity for cooperation. So we must never stop. For this, I wish you all good work. But for first of all, we would like to thank the numerous companies that are members of the Confindustria system in Italy, as well as in Serbia and Russia, which are participating in today's webinar. Their participation shows that in the triangle of economic relations between the three countries of Italy, Serbia, and Russia, and at this time of significant obstacle to everyday business and difficulty in situation in the world, they see the potential for further strengthening of economical cooperation. We also thank our colleagues with whom we successfully cooperate in numerous initiatives. Confindustria Serbia, Ernesto Ferlenghi, President for Confindustria Serbia, Alfredo Gozzi, Director, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Serbia. I cooperate a lot with our association in Serbia. Also many thanks to Russian company and colleagues who will participate today and help us to understand better what Russia is today and what is the potential for further cooperation. We thank also the Russian institution, Vladislav Aristov, Mrs. Svetlana Fatkulina, also the Roberto Giuppa, responsible representative office in Moscow, di Crea, Banca Imprese, Bonelli Arrede, Marco Adda, Cassa Depositi e Prestiti. We thanks everyone for this opportunity and for the cooperation to study the possibility for this work and this webinar. Okay, I don't want to tell about all the number, economical number between Russia and Italy, because is evidential that the number is coming down for the problem with the COVID, but we don't stop. We need to work together, increasing the possibility and the cooperation. thank you, and I wish of all the good work. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Patrizio Deitos. So I give the floor to Ernesto Ferlenghi, President Confindustria Russia.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning to everybody. First of all, let me thank our colleague from Confindustria Serbia, of course, and the Serbian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and thank you very much to support this event. All of us are living an incredible, difficult period of time. The COVID-19 has impressively changed the relation, as we know, the human relation, the social aspect, and the business model, of course, from the producer to the consumers. We are here because we need to react, of course, and trying to consider the sharing of experience and competence as one of the most important things to do. We together create this event to allow everyone to share market opportunities gained from the stories carried out by other companies in Russia. We want to talk about the sector that we consider more interesting, which are the main area where the major investments are going, and how to present a more Italian structural approach towards the Russian and the Eurasian opportunities. We understand that Russia has been changing, of course, in the last years from a purely commercial relation into a localization strategy, which gives enormous advantage in terms of fiscal and financial support. The agreement between the CDP, the Cassa Depositi and Prestiti, and the Russian direct investment funds, with 300 million euro available for companies ready to work in the Russian market, is an incredible instrument to be used. Thanks to the network and the Confindustria created through their international channel, we can support Italian business trying to consolidate their interests and giving services and advice. This cooperation between us and Confindustria Serbia is only one example of the many opportunities our network can create, and I'm sure that will be other joint events in the future to offer you the most of what we can do. Let me again thank all of you and consider ourselves at your disposal in the future. Thanks a lot to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ernesto. Thank you very much. Now, Chamber of Commerce operating in Serbia and the representative office in Russia, Moscow. Mikhailo, please take the floor.
Hello, good morning to everyone. I would like to greet you in the name of the Chamber of Commerce of Serbia. I think that I would like to, first of all, thank the Confindustria Serbia and Confindustria Russia for organizing this webinar with the support of our representative office in Moscow. I think that Serbian Chamber of Commerce is basically one of the few chambers in the region that recognize the importance of not just the Russian market, but Italian market. We have our representative offices in Italy and in Moscow that proves that there is a big and huge business interest in all that. But what is most important is exchange of business people, their ideas, their interests. And I think that this is the perfect connection to start to work on, because basically if you account what Serbia's main and most important foreign trade partners are, Italy is our second foreign trade partner, Russia is our third foreign trade partner, and what is most important is that there is a special relation that Serbian economy has with the Russian economy. You will hear a little bit more about it from my colleague Dejan Delic, our head of the representative office in Moscow. And I think that as far as we believe that this connection with Italian businesses, not just working in Italy, but also working in Serbia, and using the great connection and a good, not just political, but economic, first of all, economic relations is one of the most important advantages that Serbia has in the region. Although Serbia is very much connected to the European Union economy, our foreign trade with European Union accounts up somewhere about 2/3 of our overall general trade. What is more important, there are 1,300 registered companies with Italian capital in Serbia. We already this year, although this year is not a representative year, we have 60 more companies registered in Serbia, so the growing interest is still there. What is maybe one of the most important information, that Serbia last year had somewhere around 3.6 billion euros of foreign direct foreign investments in Serbia, and although this year was really not the ordinary year. It's a very hard year for every business everywhere in the world. We already have somewhere about 2 billion euros direct foreign investments, which proves that this market and overall economy is sustainable, and there are still possibilities for the huge growth. I should mention a few of the products that could be out of the interest of the Serbian and Italian and joint companies that should be established in Serbia. Also, from the textile products, from socks to the apples. I must say that Serbia is probably most known on the Russian market as the main producer and exporter of the apples. And on the other hand, the automotive industry has the strongest connection between Serbian and Italian economies, something that we should pay attention to, especially the tires for the automotive industry, which Serbia is one of the biggest producers, and mostly I think that there are even 7 or 8 biggest world brands already invested in the Serbian market. I think that this is a great initiative. I think that this is something that would just start talks, and I expect that our colleagues in Russia would continue this conversation, and I think that we should hold this strong economic and business interest in our hands and use it for mutual interest, especially interest for the Russian economy. And I would say that the exchange of the information and communication that we had in the last 6 months helped us from all sides, and we should invite Russian companies and Russian businessmen also to exchange their views, where to move forward, how to use and utilize what we already have signed and have implemented as a free trade agreement for the benefit of all our businesses. I wish you a great conference, and we at the Serbian Chamber of Commerce stand at your disposal in every way, in any way, and I hope that we're going to see each other live and face to face finally after this crisis is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mihailo. Thank you, Mihailo, for this very good overview of the economic indicators related to the Serbian-Russian economic issue. And now we can switch and move on the second part of this event. A free trade agreement between the Republic of Serbia and the Russia Federation reduced barriers to imports and exports among them. Now I would like to ask Dan Delic, Director of Representative Office of the Serbian Chamber of Commerce in Moscow, to take over, considering his approach goes directly into the core of the next topic, Serbian trade deal with the Russia Federation. Okay, thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Irena. Good morning, dear colleagues, and what to add after these speeches. First of all, I would like to express our gratitude to Confindustria for this opportunity to promote cooperation with the Eurasian Economic Union by opening production, investing in Serbia, and exporting to Eurasian market, and Russia is the main economic figure in this union. As it is said, analyzing overall trade flows, Italy is the second trade partner of Serbia, and the Russian Federation is the third. And today's conference and Confindustria's initiative is, as we see, a concrete indicator of the practical interest of the business community, economic importance and position of Serbia in business relations with the most important economic partners and markets, the EU and Eurasian Economic Union. The position of Serbian products in the Russian Federation due to the unique preferential trade agreement and duty-free export to the market of over 145 million inhabitants is characterized by starting competitive price advantage over other imported products. Serbian products is valued, recognized as quality, traditionally has a consumer, and the overall impression of the Serbian business community is that this trend is necessary to maintain and valorize, and that the potentials are not used to the maximum. Basic characteristics of our bilateral trades is mutual duty-free trade for about 99% of goods, exports of products of higher added value, and import of energetic products and raw materials. A dynamic growth of Serbian export during stable exchange situation with the Russian ruble, and investments in the Russian Federation of Economy of Serbia is about amount of $4 billion since 2000. And of course, foreign direct investments due to this agreement. The free trade agreement between the Republic of Serbia and the Eurasian Economic Union, signed last year on 25th of October in Moscow, is completely new, modern preferential trade agreement based on the WTO principles and international trade rules. Serbia's investment position has been improved considering the previous business initiatives of the European and international companies to invest and produce in Serbia with the aim to duty-free placement of products to the Eurasian Economic Union market. Analyzing only the main 10 leading exporters from Serbia to the Russian Federation is the main economic figure in this union. Serbia's main foreign trade partner, 9 are foreign investments, 8 from the EU. And I just want to show you some figures through short presentation. I'll try to share the screen right now. Please, it will be short. Yes, I hope it can be seen. Okay.
Just a minute, it's uploading.
Yes.
And I don't want to more to detail to the free trade agreement, because I think our colleague Vitaly Arista will detail explain the facts and rules of origin just have to be fulfilled to get the Serbian origin and to get preferential trade with the Russian Federation. I think it could be seen, the presentation. No?
Not yet, Dejan.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, now yes. Now it's
okay.
working.
Sorry for this. The basic information about Serbia you already know. We just don't want to take your time with the advantages of investing in Serbia. We have all materials ready on English, and if you want to just to be informed, I'm willing to send you after these presentations. Of course, we just want to focus during this presentation to the free trade agreements. And it's not only the free trade agreement with the Russia Federation, bilateral agreements with Russia Federation, Belarus, and Kazakhstan, which is valid now. It's also the free trade agreement and stabilization association agreement with the EU. And it's also a request to our Russian colleagues to come to Serbia to open production to place their products on the European market. As we said, Italy and Russia are the second and third trade partner with overall trade about $4.3 billion in 2019 with Italy and $3.5 billion with Russia Federation. If we analyze the bilateral trade with Russian Republic of Serbia and Russian Federation, we could see volatility of our exports during our past 6 years, and I'll tell you a little bit later about what the main reason. As you can see, we have decreased about 30%. This year it's about 10%, and in normal, as I could say, a stable time with the exchange rate, we have a growth about more than 20% to Russia from Serbia. These are the main export products which we are exporting to Russia Federation, and some of them are foreign direct investments and products organized and produced in Serbia, and some of them are as chemical synthetic fibers tights in stockings are from Italy. For example, also pneumatic tires are from France, medicaments are organized. Of course, the production is organized and has Serbian origin and free trade preferential possibility to export to Russian Federation. Medicaments are, and I also want to underline this position, is direct investments from Germany. You'll see why. We are importing energetic products and raw materials from Russia. And what is the main reason of volatility of our export and all international exports to Russia is the exchange rates. This is exchange rate from in position for €1. We entered 2020 with exchange rates about 69 per €1, 69 rubles per €1, and now today is 91. It's decreased about 30%, and you could understand that importers are stopped with business, with importing and our export to these markets regarding this situation. Of course, this position was in the beginning of March situation, all known situation with OPEC plus, etc., international pressures, I should say, and more sanctions. It's also has effect on the exchange rate. And this is exchange rate from 2014. Before, as I could say, crisis, you will see this situation 2015 and 2016. And this is the reason of volatility and decrease of our exports. During stable times, Serbia has growth of more than 20% of export to Russia. Some of analysis said that Serbia lost from this situation about $3 billion of pure export in 2014. And at the end, I just want to give some figures, not from the angle of importance for us, for Russian federations, but from their angles, how are we important for them for import in Russia Federation. As you can see, as director of Chamber of Commerce said, we are very well known on this market with our apples, and we are first exporter to apples to Russian Federation in 2019. Also, the strawberries, we are the second after Turkey. Of course, it's good to be on the second place, as you can see. Peaches and nectarines, also we are on the third place of overall import of Russia Federation. Frozen fruit, after Belarus and China, we are on the third place. Also, frozen vegetables, of course, also after Belarus and China, we are on the third place for exporting to Russia Federation. Fresh cheese, after Belarus, which is very strong producer of milk products and cheese, we are on the second place of exporting our serbska brinza, as it is known on the Russian market. Fruit trees, after Italy, we are on the second place. We are on the first place, first exporter of fruit trees to Russian Federation. These products are not on the list of sanctioned, as you know. Seed for sowing, we are on the fourth place after strong producers, Hungary, France, and Romania. Soya beans, of course, on the fifth place. And it's about agriculture and food sector, and going to other also investment in Serbia from Europe. It's floor coverings, French company invested in our production for more than 10 years and successfully exporting to Russia Federation floor coverings and flooring wood panels. As you can see, we have a strong position of export to Russia Federation. Also copper tubes. It's the Russian investment in Serbia, exporting final products to Russia. We are on the first place. Pneumatic tires. Of course, everyone knows what is the market of pneumatic tires. We are on the fifth place, and it's also a French investment in Serbia, and willing to enter the Russian market, centrifugal pumps. And what I want to underline, dog and cat food. It's Italian investment in Serbia. We're on the 10th place, but you can see Italy is on the second place and paying 10% or not less than 0.08 euro per kilogram, paying annually for their exports, for Italy's exports, who is more than 40 million per year. It's a loss of $4 million of profit annually. So to invest in Serbia and have 0% of import tax duties. Also, as you can see, we are by the stockings, we export more than $100 million of stockings to Russian Federation. We are on the 2nd place, but Italy is on the 4th place with more than $40 million. And import tax duties for Italian producers are 12%. 12%. It's also less of profit for more than $4 million of dollars per year. So please be welcome. Come to Serbia, organize production, because, for example, pharmaceutical products, the main export products of Italy to Russian Federation is exported from Italy in about $1 billion, paying import tax duties of 3 to 5%. So it's a loss of profit about $30 to $40 million annually. And Germany is on the 1st place. Germany entered our market, organized production investment, and is exporting from Serbia to Russian Federation. So Italy is the 5th partner of Russia, exporting partner for Russia. So we believe it's about $10 billion per year annually, as I have information. There is a lot of possibilities to analyze, and I'm willing to share our information about all steps entering, which is necessary to have just to enter the market, from the market analysis to the procedures of customs procedures, certificates of quality of products, procedures, etc., etc. Finding new partners just in next B2B meetings and after this conference. And on the end, I just want to share our contacts. Feel free to contact us. And once again, thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dan. Just a brief comment on the presentation. We have seen a line of success and decline related to the Serbian export to Russia. I would like to add that the sanctions have been very harmful for Italy. They recorded a drop of Italian export to Russia of 3 billion euros a year compared to the record figures reached in 2013, 10 billion euros. So what are the perspectives? I'm glad to introduce the representative of the Russian institutions, Mr. Vitaly Aristov, advisor to the Trade Policy Department. Welcome, and please take the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair, but let me correct that I am not a representative of the Russian Institute, because our commission is an institute of 5 countries: Russia, Belarus,
yes.
Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan,
yes.
and Armenia. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation to have a speech here. To avoid time, I try to very briefly describe this new agreement and benefits which we have received after the agreement taken into force. Let me repeat once more that free trade agreement between European Economic Union and its member states on the one part and Republic of Serbia on the other part was signed during the meeting of the Eurasian Intergovernmental Council in October 2019. This agreement creates additional economic benefits for both the EU member states and Serbia. In short term, it's a decreasing of the import duties, and in a long term, a medium term, it's a create a base for the realization of the export opportunities within the free trade regime. It should be mentioned that EU meets also 2 more challenges. First of all, we unify or harmonize our preferential foreign trade regime between our member states and Serbia. As you know, today 3 EU member states have the free trade agreement with Serbia. It's Belarus, Kazakhstan, and Russia. In accordance with our EU treaty, the member state can provide the preference for foreign partners on the basis of the agreement concluded before our union was established, but the work to unify such foreign trade regime should be done. And really speaking, Serbia was the first country with which the requirements of the EU Treaty was implemented in practice. And second very important element, we create new additional opportunity for trade due to the fact the agreement opens duty-free regime, duty-free access to the Serbian market for goods from Armenia and Kyrgyzstan, and in turn, for goods from Serbia to the market of Armenia and Kyrgyzstan. During the negotiations, the party indicated their interest to extend the preferential access for a number of products of export interest of our member states and Serbia. Therefore, the agreement is not a simple technical revision of previous Belarusian, Kazakhstan, and Russian agreement with Serbia. It provides for any improvement in terms of the trade in comparison with the acting acts. As I said, the market of the Republic of Armenia and the Republic of Kyrgyzstan will be open for Serbian products within the framework of the general free trade regime. The current duty-free trade regime will expand by some types of cheese, strong alcohol beverage, and cigarette. What about the text of the agreement? The agreement contains a volume of regulatory obligation targeted to ensure stability, predictability, and transparency of mutual trade operation, as well as provision aimed at preventing possible abuse of tariff preference under this agreement. The text establishes the obligation to comply with the basic principle of non-discrimination of goods of the member states in relation to goods produced in Serbia and imported to Serbia from third countries in a non-preferential regime, in all matters related to the foreign trade, import, and commercial turnover. The agreement set out as set a complex of the obligation to comply with international standards on the application of the licensing procedure, prohibition and quantitative restriction, technical regulation, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, application of anti-dumping, countervailing and safeguard measures, protection of intellectual property rights. The agreement presents the usual approach for the business community to determine and confirm the original goods, which guarantees the right to use tariff preference by the parties of the agreement. Thus, the products shall be considered to have undergone sufficient working or processing in a party, it means Serbia or EU member state, does not exceed 50% of the value of the exported goods. At the same time, manufacturers of the goods that are the trade under the agreement have the opportunity to receive tariff preferences for the import, even if an invoice for such good is issued in a third country. Such arrangement positively affect on the foreign trade activities of company that strengthen their sales competence using the foreign representative office in the or trade intermediaries. The agreement provides for more practicable procedures for interacting between participants in foreign economic activity and custom authorities. Documents contain an expanded set of tools for administrative cooperation between the competent authority of our member states and Serbia, aimed at operation interaction in the consideration of dispute issues. Supporting the concept, in general concept of the electronic declaration of goods, the agreement provides for the possibility to introduce a new electronic system of certification of goods, certification of origin of goods, which involve eliminating the need to submit or certificate in hard copy during the custom declaration of goods. And finally, it's important to note that we able to reach the end of the negotiation. It was a really fast track because we start our first round of negotiation in December 2017, And in spring 2019, agreement was reached on sustainable completion of the negotiation. And a few words about the current status of the agreement. Agreement was ratified by the Republic of Serbia. The corresponding information was received in March, and by the Republic of Belarus. The rest of our member states conduct internal procedures necessary for agreement entering into force, and we expect that these procedures will be completed by the end of this year. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aristo. Companies wishing to export their products to Russia and the Euro-Asian Custom Union must obtain certifications for the production of the health, guarantee the compliance of the product with the applicable standards. So now we have guests from the Russian Scientific and Research Institute of Medical Engineering, Mrs. Svetlana Fatkulina, and she will talk about these important standards and possibilities, how to export in the markets.
Yes, hello, let me open my presentation. No. Can you see it?
No.
No? Okay. Why? Oh.
Just a moment. Now it's starting. Try again, please. Yes, it's starting. Just a few seconds. Yes, now we can see it.
So how you can see it? Is it big enough? Right?
We see the first slide. Yes, it's good.
Yes, I see it.
Okay, great.
So my name is Svetlana Fatkulina. I'm representing Russian Scientific and Research Institute of Medical Engineering.
Excuse me, Svetlana, it's not the audio is not very good. If you could please talk to the microphone. Sorry. Speak to the microphone. Yeah. No.
Okay. So, can you hear it better now?
A bit better, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So today I would like to discuss the registration process of medical devices for you to be able to sell them in Eurasian Economic Union, and to discuss the role of our institute in this process. So first of all, what's Eurasian Economic Union and how to get marketing authorization? So Eurasian Economic Union, it's a union of 5 countries such as Belarus, Russia, Kazakhstan, Armenia, and Kyrgyzstan, with the population about 180 millions of people. The union was established with the intention to provide free movement of goods, services, and the capitals. On this slide you can find the useful links which will tell you important information about the union. So the market of medical devices makes a part of the single market strategy of Eurasian Economic Union and is based on the basic concepts. Thus, the member states agreed to harmonize their legislations, to develop common requirements for the safety, efficiency, and the circulation of medical devices in the territory of the Eurasian Economic Union. In such a way, the representatives of the regulatory authority of member states developed the legislation, dozens of legislation acts. However, I chose the 3 three of them, which I found the most important and most comprehensible for you guys. So the first one is the Treaty on Eurasian Economic Union about drugs and medical device regulation. The second one is the common principles and rules of medical device circulation. And the third one is the decision of the Eurasian Economic Committee Council about the rules for registration and examination of safety, quality, and efficacy of medical products. The third one contains very important information and very detailed information about the registration of your medical devices, as well as the application form which you have to submit when you want to register your device. So, if you want to sell your device in the Eurasian Economic Union, you have to get marketing authorization. Therefore, medical device must be registered. To register your medical device, you have to arrange the registration file. In Russian, we call it a registration dossier, which contains technical test, biocompatibility study, clinical investigation, and clinical evaluation. This paper must be translated and notarized. So, and the very important moment is that technical test and biocompatibility studies must be done in the territory of the member states. After this, you have to pass through conformity assessment process and to get your registration certificate. And the good news, the registration is permanent. So this slide shows the flow chart of the registration procedure. First of all, the manufacturer has to point his authorized representative on the territory of the member states of the union. Then they have to pick the country which will main country for application. So they have to send application choosing one country. For example, Russia will be the main country, and the rest country will accept or decline the decision made by Russian regulatory authority. So this to make it more comprehensive, I divided the process on 4 steps. So first of all, you have to fill the application form and to apply. Then you have to pass through conformity assessment process. You have to wait the decision of the regulatory authority and then to get your certificate. On this slide, you can see the information portal of the union. On the left side, you can see the already devices which are already registered, and on the right side you can see how you get the registration certificate. For example, in this case, the medical device was registered in Russian Federation, so Russia was chosen as the main country to apply, and the countries like Belarus, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan accepted the decision of the union. So as soon as you get your registration certificate, you can mark your device like AAC mark and sell it all over the Eurasian Economic Union. So the role of our institute in this process. So our institute is the institution which works within the jurisdiction of the Russian Federal Healthcare Control Agency. We call it Roszdravnadzor. The main goal of our institute is to provide efficient healthcare system for our citizens. Our organization holds several certification and licenses. Our testing center is 17025 accredited laboratory, and the scope of accreditation of our laboratory has more than 100 standards. We have 11 modernly equipped laboratories with the highly qualified and trained staff. So the test report issued in our laboratories ensures the compliance of medical devices with the prescribed standards. To summarize, the role of our institute, I would like to say that our institute is authorized to conduct the biocompatibility studies and technical tests, especially for the Eurasian Economic Union, to be able to sell the devices within the Eurasian Economic Union. Few organizations which are able to do this, and our institute is one of those. So we are also licensed to perform the conformity assessment, and we can help all the manufacturers with their technical file review and arrange. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Svetlana Fatkulina. In his very recent visit to Moscow, where he met President Putin, Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte insisted that for the Italy sanctions are not an end, but an instrument, and that is essential to increase economic cooperation with Russia. So, Alfredo, however, from the analysis of trade flows in recent years, a picture of recovery in commercial relations emerged. So can you give us a bit, let's say, important information, some important information about the trends? Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you. Sure, thank you very much, Irena. Today I will share with you my presentation. The presentation is about the current state of the business in Russia, and about, of course, the experience that Italian companies that are already present in this market have. Let me just start with it.
We are talking about 400 companies operating in Russia Federation. Am I right?
Yeah, well, let's say that that this is under discussion, but we are talking about 450 active companies in Russia for sure. Okay. Yes. So I would like to start with some macroeconomic parameters of Russia. We can see that the GDP, the gross domestic product, has been, let's say, recovering after the crisis that started in 2014, and it has achieved, let's say, good results in 2018 and 2019, relatively good results, because for a still emerging market like Russia this is not really good. This is not really where Russia would like to be. Of course, then in 2020, this year is quite a negative year for all the countries in the world, except for a handful of them, including China. So we expect a loss in the gross domestic product, but also here is relatively big, because in respect of European countries, for example, the Russian Central Bank is expecting some -5%. We see that also other indicators were quite good until 2019, especially if we talk about the unemployment and the inflation that were, I would say, taken under control by central government of Russia. What are, in our opinion, the strengths and weaknesses of Russian market? Russia has a very good state currency reserves that are up to $500 billion, and gold reserves. And it has also a very strong national welfare fund. It is the leader or among the first two countries in oil and gas reserves and production in the world. And it has a very low public debt, especially if we compare it with countries such as Italy, of course. On the contrary, the weaknesses, of course, there is always this danger of the continuous threat of US and the European sanctions. There is a relatively high level of foreign capital outflow that in 2018 was quite huge, $18 billion, even if it has started, and we will see it later, to a program to let these capitals to return to the countries. A strong reliance, of course, on Russian economy still on the dollar and still on the energy raw materials. Still oil and gas make most of the export of Russia to the world. And this is connected, of course, also to the slow transition to the market economy. The last thing, we can say that there has been a setback for the national projects that have been conceived as a strong bazooka to the Russian economy, with a total expenditure of 390 billion. But these national projects now have been postponed to 2030. While it was forecast to end within 2024-2025. Now, what has happened from 2013-2014, especially in Russia, is a sort of a perfect storm, unfortunately, because the country in 2014 has started a sort of crisis due to the combination of the fall of the price of oil due to the sanctions and due to the reduction of the internal demand. The exchange also with other countries has been suffering a lot, especially with European countries, while instead countries such as China has increased its turnover with Russia by 20%, for example. Also connected with the fall of the price of the barrel of oil is linked the fall of the ruble value. Now, as Dejan was remembering, is up to 93 even. It was yesterday, rubles for €1. And this is, of course, affecting a lot the export, because if you think that only 1 or 1.5 years ago it was 60 rubles for €1, and now it's 90, it means it's more than 30%. That means that all the countries that are exporting here, things here are costing 30% more, or even much higher. What I was saying before, the national projects. The national projects has been conceived, as I said, as a bazooka for the Russian economy. The government has provided $390 billion, about 3% of gross domestic product annually. It was conceived, as I said, for the years 2019 to 2024, but following the pandemic crisis in mid-July, mid-July of this year, of course, President Putin signed a decree that will lead to reshaping of them and postpone them till 2030. As you can see, the main drivers are the human capital, the quality of life, and the economic growth. And in this graphic on the right instead, you can see the breakdown of these three drivers. It's very much oriented to, as you can see, infrastructure, to improve connectivity. It's very much oriented to environment protection, to safe roads, but also programs for demography, health, education. Now, switching to the history between Italy and Russia and what the Italian companies are doing here. Italy and Russia have 60 years of successful collaboration that started in the late 50s when Fiat Group and Eni has started to do the first contracts with the USSR, it was at that time. Fiat cars production in Russia in the 70s, for example, amounted to 15 million vehicles, and Eni with Enrico, with its leader, has come here in the 60s and has started to the first contracts of oil and gas supply. Industrial projects such as Blue Stream, for example, between the 90s and the early 2000s have a lot boosted the Italian economy. At the moment, Italy is instead the 5th supplier for Russia and the 7th importer. This is in line, of course, more or less with the figures that we had before the crisis that started in 2014, but the volumes, of course, as I said before, are much, much lower. And this has brought to a different approach, both from Italian companies, but especially also, I would say, from Russian government. So what has this crisis done with Russia? Among other things, the Russian government has understood that it was finally the moment to start a new approach to localization of businesses, and has understood that they had to diversify their production. That, as I said, it is still very much linked to oil and gas production and export. Therefore, it has started massively, more than the previous year, to attract foreign companies in Russia to establish here their own production facilities, especially, of course, Western companies, but not only. And that this has brought little by little to start to have here a lot of different production, both in agro-food business, in mechanical business, automotive business, and so on. They have done this by offering a significant tax relief for foreign companies that want to localize, and offering also tools such as joint ventures with local partners that have already, for example, a good market, and that can share their knowledge of the market itself. They can share their facilities, while usually Italian companies are bringing here know-how and technology. This has been so far the good trade between Italy and Russia, so that it has been created this slogan that is made with Italy in Russia. Italian business in Russia and the Eurasian Economic Union now. I would say that, of course, as in Italy, 90% or over 90% of Italian companies are small and medium enterprises, of course. And Italian companies tend to particularly relocate or better locate here production in some sectors that you can see in this slide. This slide is showing you that most of them are manufacturing companies, but also the real estate sector and the wholesale and retail trade sector have developed. Companies mentioned in the list under this figure: Pirelli, Mapei, Barilla, Arne, Danieli. They have localized in Russia, not to, let's say, delocalize from Italy, because they are still present in Italy, of course, but mostly because from this market they can sell their goods not only to Russia and Eurasian Economic Union, but also to other countries, for example, in Asia and so on. I would like now to talk to you again about export and instead investment as two different parabolic paths, because as I said, the crisis of 2014 has brought to a significant loss in the export, while instead direct investments in Russia have grown up. Even if, as we can see from the next slide, Italy is not at all among the biggest investors in Russia. If we consider the stock, it means the total of direct investments in Russia until the 1st January of 2020, Italy is, as we can see, very far from the first positions. The first position is island of Cyprus. I will explain why, because these are practically those foreign capitals that I was mentioning before that are coming back. So these are investments also in financial sectors, for example. So Russians, wealthy Russian people, some years ago have taken abroad these capitals. Now they are coming back in investments, and that's why, since most of them are based in the island of Cyprus, it shows as first position, such as it shows also among the first positions countries such as Bermuda, Jersey, or Bahamas, of course, because from those countries are coming these capitals. At the same time, Italy has a good position in the number, instead of projects between 2010 and 2018. It ranks 6th, meaning that Italy is trying to invest in the country, even if, of course, due to the small size of its companies, these are mainly minor projects, especially if we compare them with USA, Germany, China, France, and Japan. About what we do instead as Confindustria, here we are supporting all our members, and we are trying to act as a bridge between Russian and Italian companies. But at the same time, as we show today, we are part of the Confindustria system. And so we are always ready to link to Confindustria Serbia and to other sister associations to create added value for our members, for our companies, so to boost business as much as we can. Thank you very much for your attention. That was all from me.
Thank you very much, Alfredo. Further presentations continue with our Italian guests. Today we have two important Italian financial institutions. They have extensive experience regarding Italian investments in Serbia, and the new measures of the Italian government to encourage the internationalization of Italian companies and exports are certainly important for all Italian companies looking for new markets. We will hear now what the representatives of the bank and the Italian State Financial Institute think about it. So Roberto Giuppa, responsible representative office in Moscow, Icrea Banca Impresa, and Bonelli Arede, Marco Ada, export support from Cassa Deposito e Prestiti. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thank you to everyone. I hope that you can hear me.
Yes.
I would like to speak. Thank you very much to our Confindustria Serbia and Confindustria Russia, because they are our friends in our project to support Italian business. We received a lot of information today about such a very interesting green channel from Russia from Serbia to Eurasian country. I work in Moscow, but now I'm in Rome because we have a big lockdown, so we need to wait a little bit. So I will try to share my presentation. I hope that you can see. Irena, maybe you can see our presentation.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So I have a few minutes. I'd like to speak about a little bit about ICREA Cooperative Banking Group, and especially support to Italian business, Serbia to Russia. So a little information about our group, some figures. We started like 1 year ago with our 136 cooperative credit bank. They participate in ICREA Cooperative Banking Group. Some figures because we are very big presence in all the Italy in 175 municipalities, because we have 2,600 branch for million customers and more than 700,000 shareholder cooperative credit bank. About it, we are the third Italian banking group by number of branch. You can see here a distribution about our branch, especially in the north, in the middle, and in the south of Italy. This is our location in Roma. This is our representative office abroad in Tunis, in the MENA region, and in Russia. We control all the export and trade finance to Eastern country. This is our location in Moscow. It's in the center of Moscow near Red Square. So what we can do in Russia? In Russia, like rep office, we started 7 years ago, and we have an institutional function to represent our cooperative credit bank group. Commercial function to assist the corporate clients of the BCC and our group for business operation in Russia and all Eastern country, developing relation, assistance, and monitoring function, analysis of the economic and financial Russian market. This is our friends in the world, international desk, with not only our representative office, more than 1,200 correspondent bank, but you can see on the right side all the association, Confindustria Serbia, Confindustria Russia, Association of Russian Bank, Camera di Commercio, Raiffeisen Bank International is one of the most important partner in the Eastern country. You can see Finest and IC and partner group, such as Siemens. We have our friends after our presentation. On the left, we can see European Investment Bank, Asian Development, IFC. So this is our structure in the world to cover more than 45 countries. So let's speak a little bit about our operation, about international business department. We are 3 legs, where you can see on the left, documentary credit, international guarantee. So about letter of credit, you can see that we can do confirmation, advancing, discount, and we can we have all the bonds on the first of demand, advance payment bond, bid performance. In the middle, our structure to finance export. And so a typical operation like buyer's credit, we such as supplier's credit, we such too, and we will see in the next slide. Import financing, export pre-financing for trading, short and medium long terms for the internationalization supported by Sasha, and so on. The last, on the right side, the internationalization, I think that it's our core business because we finance and we support a lot of projects to support our company in the world, especially in the area where we are most representative with our office. So we will see a medium and long-term loan to Italian company for internationalization supported by Semester, intercompany financing, business scouting, advisories to access to subsidized loans for Semester, international desk at the last but not the least. Business International is a new service with cooperation with our partner in the world. So a lot of finance support, but a lot of services to our clients, to our company that want to approach Serbian country and the Eurasian countries too. Here we have a small schema about one typical operation that we use to finance our import from Serbia. So we have one buyer in Serbia and one Italian export. You can see with number that it's a very easy operation with support of SACE, suppliers credit insurance policies. There is an export from Italian to Serbia of goods and service. After we can give payment deferred to Serbian buyer by issuance of a promissory note or bill of change. After assignment of the insurance policy, Voltura, promissory note, and so on, we have credit discount to Italian exporters. So in less than 1 month, we can pay Italian exporter and totally 100%, and Serbian buyer debitor will receive a finance with Italian rates for 2, 3, 4, or 5 years. We use such schema till 5 million euro. It's a typical supplier's credit. If the import or we have to finance not only goods but service too, we use buyer's credit for big operation schema. It's similar. The difference is only that the imported amount is it's bigger, and we have always a loan financing with support of SACE. SACE Siemens, of course, is our main important partner in such schema to cover commercial risk, political risk abroad. In another schema that we use a lot, and we have some example that we already done in Serbia, it's a medium long-term loan to Italian company for internationalization support by law 190 from Semester. Startly, we, like Crea Banca Impresa, we organize advisory for the client to assist them in a project to Serbian country. Of course, we need support from Siemens in such a new Serbian NUCO. Siemens can put 49% equity participation in the NUCO. Italian investor, we will put 501%, but we can support Italian investor with our loan. And on this loan, Siemens can organize support on our interest rate. So it's a mix of cooperation between ICREA Cooperative Credit Group and Siemens to support new Serbian project. And we have different examples in Serbian country with this structure of support. But one of the most easy, and we use a lot such loan in Serbia, but in Russia too. We have a lot of friends here in our webinar that can that use such schema. It's very easy because we are alone, like Cooperative Credit Group, to support debtor company in Serbian country. Normally, it's a subsidiary in control 100% from mother company in Italy. Mother company in Italy will give us only guarantee It's corporate guarantee without, it's free, it's without cost. And our loan will be direct to a branch in Serbia. We used a lot such kind of intercompany financing with Italian rates, with our rate. Our rate, it will depend about rating, of course, of mother company. And it's a very easy schema. We use this to finance for 24, 36, 48 months. Another activity is very useful now because of the crisis, because pandemic time. Thank you to CMS support. We can organize advisory for subsidized loan that you will see on the right side. We receive a very subsidized interest rate semester is 0.074 because it's a state rate. How we can give such advisor? We will organize and arrange for our company for capitalization of exporting company, participation in fairs and exhibition, staff training in investment initiative, feasibility study for commercial and productive investment, entry programs on foreign market for opening direct sales point like showroom, core, and so on. And the typical figure that we use a lot in such time is how we can finance a temporary export manager abroad and e-commerce. So it's a new support. We organize only advisory for our company, but the loans will come from state, from Siemens, such a Cassa Depositi e Prestiti. Here you can see some example about our important Italian and Serbian customer that are already done in the last years. Here we'll see some important machinery, always supplies to Serbian market. Other important Italian investment already done. So we are very proud because we are the first local country bank in Italy, only with Italian money. Thank you to our cooperative credit group. And we are ready to support our company to Serbia, especially in such new support to Eurasian country. Thank you too much. Here my contact. I'm at disposal for everyone with Confindustria Russia, Confindustria Serbia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roberto. I believe that the next panel will be equally interesting for companies. I would kindly ask the companies, members of Confindustria Serbia, to present their businesses and experience in these markets. Of course, we have many other companies that could share their experience, but today we wanted to present these two companies, Backlighting and Trasfera della, Serbia. Firstly, I would like to invite Slobodan Petrovic, Deputy General Manager, Backlighting.
Thank you, Rena. Hello, everybody. Hello. First of all, I would like to say thanks to Confindustria and Chamber of Commerce for inviting us to take a part in this event. I will try to summarize the lessons learned in our 15 years of experience on Russian market. Yes, right now I'm Deputy General Manager in BAC company, but for many years I was the director of the BAC representative office in Moscow. And just in short, okay, I will just give you just short intro to those who don't know our company. We are lighting producers from Belgrade, specialists in architectural, medical, industrial, street and sport lighting. And as I said, we have been present on Russian market for 15 years and with the representative office and showroom for 10 years. In this period, we managed to position ourselves among 10 most influential lighting brands in Russia. There are really lots of fantastic projects there. One of the last one is definitely Transneft headquarters in Moscow city with over 100,000 square meters, and really there are many others fantastic office and medical projects there. Okay, so I have put together the most important facts about this market, and I will try to give you some practical advices. First of all, as you already know, the market is huge, but it's very saturated. There is everything for every target group, whatever you are producing. If you are not the big brand such as Coca-Cola or Apple, the first impression can be even that you don't have any perspective there. There are really all worldwide competitors, and plus, of course, there are domestic producers. But don't be misled by this. There is certainly a place for you. Second, it's very important to outline that, according just to my opinion, many Russians don't have confidence in the quality of Russian-made products. So there is opportunity for all imported goods and foreign producers. Another thing, obviously, it's important to do timely and systematic analysis of the market and competition, and clearly determine the target category. And when you know what you want, just follow it through. The important thing at the beginning is, as we heard today, certification. You must have the Russian certification to export to Russia Federation. This is something that really can be an agony, honestly. I remember the first one we did was the most expensive and the longest certificate we ever obtained. So, of course, proceed with this, but with caution. I don't know if you already know, but in the most cases, you cannot export your goods directly to your buyer in Russia Federation. You have to do it through a broker. A broker is actually just a company that has been registered for import business. It may seem unimportant, but having a good broker can sometimes save your money, save your nerves and your time. So you need one that has experience in this business and with good connections really with the customs. I guarantee you that every single company that has ever exported to Russia had some problems with the Russian custom. Just to be clear, I'm talking about insignificant administrative problems. For example, the stamp is a little bit left or a little bit right or over some line in some form. Or, for example, officer on the custom cannot read the signature, or the sum in the invoice is maybe different 1 cent, you know, because of some rounding. So believe it or not, this type of nonsense issue can hold your truck for days, sometimes even weeks. A good broker can fix these things really for you. So let's not get into details how they do this, but I think you can imagine, yeah, right? As the placement of the goods, it's most important to find a good partner, of course, distributor. This is different from one industry to another, but in my experience, everybody wants to be your distributor, but no one likes to commit and take over some obligations. My recommendation, just ask, insist, and if they are the right one, they will accept your demands. Also, it's very important to create personal relations with the key people, I mean the decision makers from a Russian company. In Russia, hierarchy is very important and respected. So if the key figure has made some decision, people below will not question it, and they will just follow it. That's why I said make excellent personal relations with important people. Take them to Italy, take them to Belgrade. They love it, believe me. They will remember it and it will pay you off. Just a few more words, Irena, for end. As you know, it's been several years, we heard today, of course, since Russia have sanctions. And that is one of the reasons why now they have some kind of motto, like buy locally. And it means, of course, buy Russian products or even silent boycott of Western products. in my experience, you should look for a chance here as well. For example, we as a BAC company, we have been placing our products as a company with no production in West, but in Serbia. So they get products by European standards, officially not from the EU, but with the price without the custom, thanks to this custom agreement between Serbia and Russia. So basically that's it. Of course, it takes resources. You need to have time, people, energy, and money to approach such a big and demanding market. So these are the most important facts I want to share with you, and I hope you find them useful. Irena?
Yes, thank you very much for sharing this really important experience. Unfortunately, we clearly remember how much we experience the negative consequences of the closure of the border due to the COVID-19, and how important it is for the international flow of goods to have well-functioning cross-border transport. As an association, we really work with the Confindustria Europa and the Chamber of Commerce, Serbian Chamber of Commerce, and in order to solve the problem of establishing green corridors. So the transport is really important. Let us see what is let us hear what is the experience of Transfera with these regards. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Irena. We hear each other, so
yeah, very well.
I'll just make a short introduction. I don't know how many of your participants are informed, and with Transfera, you know, Transfera is 100% privately owned company from Belgrade, Serbia, with 16 branch offices all aside Serbia. Last year was concluded with 35.5 million euros of income and 220 employees. It's approximate number. I think that on the payroll, we will have 226, but we will see. So I listened, yeah, hopefully. I listened carefully, especially for Mr. Petrovic from BAC, what he said, and I would agree with him in most of the things he mentioned, especially regarding this logistic support and the transportation market and the relationship with the Russian customs, you know. When we are speaking about the Russian market, last year Transfera concluded with approximately 2,000 shipments from Serbia to Russia, so outbound and inbound flow from Russia to Serbia. This year, some approximate number is 45 shipments weekly, which are organized from the side of Transfera, and most of them are all FTL loading, so full truck deliveries, you know. There are some specific things and details related to the Russian markets, and I would start from the first one. So all companies from Serbia are exporting, which are exporters to the Russian market, could use this preferential origin status of the goods, you know, because of the free trade agreement between Serbia and Russia. This document or certificate is called CT2. So CT2, it's similar or pandem to Euro 1 document, which is used in Europe, and especially those things that Mr. Petrovic mentioned about the position of the stamp or the handwriting or some error in syntax, you know, it's 100% true, because you can have the situation to issue the CT2 document and point the vehicle to Russia and then to come to the border crossing or to the customs in Russia, and where they can say to you that, okay, this stamp is not positioned well, the handwriting is not good, we cannot read it, please send us a new one, you know. But the main difference is in Europe, you can send a new one via email, you know. In Russia, no, they will not tolerate this. They will say, okay, the truck and the goods will be here within the custom terminal, and we are waiting 14 days in order to bring a new one, you know. And we had a similar similar situations, you know. One thing which is more the most important one, you must check with the Russian buyers, is the transit of the goods you are exporting from Serbia free to go via Ukraine or not, you know. The Ministry of Russia and the customs authorities of Russia issued a document. It's like a list with HS codes and goods, you know, in it, where it is written and stated that some goods are allowed to transit via Ukraine and some of the goods not. What this means practically? It practically means that it could affect to the transport costs 100%, you know, because if you cannot transit to via Ukraine, you must go through European Union. So you must go to the Hungary, you must go to the Slovakia, Poland, enter to Belarus on Brest border crossing, and then between Belarus and Russia, it's a free zone. There are no borders. And in case you can go via Ukraine, it's okay. It's a way shorter transit road. But you must check this information because you don't want to get in the situation that your goods are on the crossing between, for example, Romania and Ukraine, and then that you must return it back and go all over again via European Union. Also, there is one restriction which many of people are not familiar regarding the Russian market. You know, everywhere in Europe, in the most of the countries, there is 41 tons of gross weight allowed to be on the road, you know. So 41 tons both vehicle plus cargo plus driver, so gross weight. In Russia, no. In Russia, it's lower. It's 38 tons. What it means? It means that it directly affects the 2 tons of the goods which could be loaded in the truck, you know. The truck physically, standard truck can load up to 24 tons. So in case of Russia, even you can load 24 tons in the vehicle. You cannot do it because these restrictions on the roads of Russia, you must load 22 tons. And the penalties in case some vehicle is overloaded or carries more than 22 tons of goods are huge, you know. So this is something which you must especially take care of. I don't know, maybe some of you have the goods with the lower weights, some of you have the goods that are weight, you know, and this topic is especially important. Border crossings, which I mentioned, must be considered very seriously. So you do know about the escalation and about the situation which happened in Ukraine during the last elections, you know, and the protests and everything. During that period, Belarusia sent the army to the borders, you know, and especially to the Polish borders. So this region of Brest, where is the most common transport road and most common road, translation to Belarusia was blocked, you know, for 2 days. There were army there, and during those 2 days, 35 kilometers of a column has formed on the way to Russia, you know. This is something which is solved now. It's not the case, but you can expect that some of the vehicles could have these detention times and waiting hours on the border crossings, especially Brest region. And there is one more border crossing if you are going to via Romania and Ukraine. It's Jakovo-Halmeu. Jakovo is the name of the crossing at Ukrainian side, and Halmeu at Romanian side. This border crossing is especially important because, how should I say, the vehicles with Ukrainian plate numbers, so Ukrainian carriers, have priority, you know. And it could happen that, for example, Serbian vehicles, Romanian vehicles, European vehicles could wait there up to 2 or 3 days, and the customs authorities and police are just passing the Ukrainian vehicles to pass the border. You know, this is something which is unofficial, but it's realistic condition on the market, and it could cause some detention, you know, and must be taken care of. So that's pretty much everything that I prepared for today. I will just highlight 3 important topics which must be followed from your side. The first one is issuing and filling of the CT2 document for preferential origin of the goods. So important thing is where is the stamp positioned, how is the handwriting, etc., etc. The second thing is the type of the goods. You must check with the buyer or broker from Russia, is the specific type of goods allowed to transit via Ukraine or not. They know it, they have the document from the Russian customs authorities which says, okay, these goods can pass, these not. It's a list of HS articles. And the third point is useful weight of the vehicles. So take care, because even useful weight in most of European countries is 24 tons. I'm speaking about the standard trucks. In Russia, it's reduced by 2 tons. So 22 tons maximum could be loaded in order to respect their law that 38 tons gross weight must be on the road, not even 1 kilogram higher than this. So, of course, if you need any support, Transfera has the know-how and has experience in the Russian market. I said already the numbers. You can get my contact from Irena, of course, and we will be at your disposal for any request you have. Thank you very much one more time.
Thank you very much, Stevan. I believe we heard really lots of useful practical tips. So we have reached the end of the first part of the conference. Time has really flown by. I believe you share the same impressions. Many thanks to all speakers today for the comprehensive information they share with us. I believe that there are many questions left and that we'll discuss many of them during B2B meetings. If you would like more information, you can contact us by email. And I believe that new conferences will be organized soon with the focus sectors. Hope not only network format, but they will get to know each other very soon. Thank you very much and see you soon. Thank you, Alfredo.
Nice
thank you, Mihailo. Thank you, all of participants.
Thank you to all of you. Have a nice day.
Okay, I have some suggestions. We will wait just almost 1 hour for starting the B2B meetings. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day.